Hi there, welcome to Vintage Elegance Inspiration. This is Karen. I am sharing my summer journal collection. The next two videos are going to be these little sisters or twins, whatever you want to call them. The covers I had made several months back, as I mentioned, and the insides of the signatures were already fairly well curated, so these I just wanted to finish up these projects. And this one I have named Summer Rose and this one Autumn Rose. So this video I am going to share Summer Rose with you, and she has a beautiful little wrap skirt and a gorgeous applique that was part of a wedding dress that we deconstructed at our retreat in Vermont. And the wrap skirt is removable, so I'm going to take it off. And her little stack of journaling cards. Maybe I'll show that to you first. It's got a booklet, sweet little booklet, and a avocado dyed index card. Collaged some French or German book page on there, and an image of a sweet little girl with a rose in her hair, and then the crinkled seam binding with these beautiful buttons, beautiful buttons, vintage buttons at the top. One of the lace cards that I've created featuring some Alencon beautiful blush colored lace. And this is an applique made by, well, colored by Nikki from Ravioli Dreams. And they are backed onto parchment paper. So each journal has a little stack of those ephemera pieces included. And now we'll take off the wrap, the closure. I used this green sari silk ribbon for these two journals. I barely had enough, and it's not the best quality of sari silk, but I love the color. I don't even think I can get it anymore, but I really do love it. This is the back of the wrap skirt that I stitched using some vintage lace, and then this lace on the bottom is actually lace that I got in Vermont at the April Cornell store. Here's some gathered vintage lace, and then I've attached a piece of a collar, and that probably could have come from a wedding dress at some point or another as well. Look at how this just all coordinates so beautifully, and it's so sparkly and iridescent. I just love it. I just think it's so stunning and fun. So we'll put that aside here while we look at the journal. This is some vintage tapestry brocade fabric that I got, and I was able to get enough for each participant at the retreat to make their own journal cover out of this fabric. And I just serge the edges and then apply it to Craftex. I used mother of pearl buttons, vintage buttons, but they're in like a cocoa color. I just love them. I think they're so amazing. These journals are 8.5 by 5.5 with a 1.5 inch spine and 21 pages each for a total of 84 page sides. This one, as I said, we have named Summer Rose, and here's the beautiful journaling card that I've included with a description on the back. Summer Rose is a late bloomer and escapes most late spring frosts. Summer Rose is an attractive fruit with smooth, waxy yellow skin blushed with red streaks and blotches. How beautiful is that? A tall, skinny, or tall tag for these type of tall journals. I just cut it down a little bit so it will fit into the standard 8.5 size journal. Some vintage book page, vintage wallpaper, and vintage music paper, a die cut wildflower, and some stamping with the Sampool stamps. A vintage lace pocket that I've got on the inside cover, and just some artisan paper. Very, very easy to use, and just makes it so sturdy. I absolutely love it. This image of this sweet girl from Rosie's kit by Raindrop Lila by Lydia is so beautiful. Such a gorgeous image. And all the vintage lace, pretty much all the lace on the side, most of it is from Suzi Oberman from MaryNotMartha. This lace actually is more of, I think it's newer lace that I got from her shop, actually from her shop. She didn't custom dye this for me, and I just absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. And it's more of a beige tone. There's a little bit of blush in there. That was custom dyed by her for me. A journaling card that I've made using some texture paste stenciling, the antique or vintage lace topper, and a vintage button with the metallic embroidery floss at the top. Gorgeous image of that wild rose. Isn't that stunning? On this side, I've got some vintage ephemera of a postcard, Los Angeles postcard, and that one I think is dated 1945, and an envelope, canceled envelope from 1939. So just tuck into this pocket here. I've stamped on a piece of cardstock and just punched a circle and collage together with this sweet little image of a vintage girl. Bible book page, Shakespeare, the 12th Night, and a beautiful washi sticker. I used pink thread, I think, in this whole collection, except for the first journal, the rose gold one, that I used just cream colored thread. A tall tag that I've added here with a little note tucked in, and a fussy cut flower, vintage lace belly band, and some Edith Holden book page that I've distressed and backed onto parchment paper for a lovely journaling card. Another washi sticker on some vintage sheet music, some line journal page, a tuck spot here from some Stamperia paper, and more gorgeous vintage lace on the edges. It's another little journaling card that I backed onto Tim Holtz paper. One of the tags that I like to make on tea-dyed index card, some French book page, vintage French book page, some antique trim, some cheesecloths, crinkled seam binding, and these sweet little buttons. They're just so gorgeous. And that image of the girl and her dolly. As I explained in my first video, there's no vintage ladies in this journal collection. It's a tribute to all the young ladies, the young girls. Book page from Les Mis, washi sticker, and some more gorgeous vintage lace. I think this was from my collection, my stash, and some stamping that I love to do. Another little tuck spot. In fact, let's just tuck that right in there. And a pocket made with this beautiful pink trim, dangling trim, and I've embossed some parchment cardstock. Another envelope that I've made using this technique that I've created, cutting a vintage handkerchief into 4 pieces and then just covering the flap of an envelope with it and tucking some colored paper inside, and adhering a beautiful blush dyed applique by Suzi, stitched with pink thread. Then you can put whatever else you would like in the envelope, of course. Some vintage French-English dictionary page, gorgeous watercolor image from my England's Garden flower book. Some avocado dyed paper that I've done myself. And some more stamping. Lots and lots of journaling space. There is quite a lot of ephemera and tags and cards in here, but there's always room for you to do a lot of journaling. This idea I got from Marlene from Uniquely Ella. She creates these tuck spot pockets and I just love it. It's just so unique. So I've added a bunch of tags and this goes from the bottom up. There's some Edith Holden book page in there. A regular size tag with this gorgeous Swiss dot topper. And then these little girl images on some journaling cards. Also, the top is open, so you could add anything that you would like in the very top if you want to squirrel something away and hide it. Some secret notes, green parchment paper. And the inside of this center of this signature is featuring Edith Holden August book page, because August is approaching. Here are the beautiful beads that I've chosen to make the strings dangle with. And I've got pearls and beads and the crinkled seam binding. That has become my signature technique. Got a beautiful blush colored applique from Suzi, and I've just tucked in some extra ephemera here for journaling on into this little spot. And on the other side of the page we have, oh yeah, I was going to add this. I guess I'll be adding that. Little fussy cut flower, the least favorite thing. This is the most favorite thing that I like to do, is make the dangles and choose all the beads. And then the least favorite thing of journal making for me is fussy cutting, because I just find it so hard on my hands. Anyhow, that's my story. Beautiful vintage lace scalloped edge there. A little tuck spot here. And some of my avocado dyed paper, the watercolor flower book, French English dictionary page, journaling card from Edith Holden book page with this, I don't know if that's a sparrow, what it is. Beautiful bird. And poetry by Burns. And this is vintage lace, beautiful vintage lace from Suzi that's been blush dyed. And this is also a tuck spot made with some Chapter 1 paper digital image from the Antique Florals kit. Very soft, very feminine. And some stamping, some vintage eyelet cotton insert lace. I have threaded crinkled seam binding through there. More book page, washi sticker, and then this pretty little pocket belly band with some vintage trim. That is a die cut edge there, and just a journaling card and a tag for some extra room to write your thoughts. On this side of the page we have one of these beautiful lace swatch tags that I've come up with, featuring Sheila's beautiful embellished embroidered trim. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning in the red? Oh, gorgeous. That's some vintage lace that I have avocado dyed and some artisan paper. So there's journaling space on the back and a little swatch tab at the top. Some more stamping and beautiful vintage lace. This image I can see I have not decided yet, but I'm going to add it to this page right here. Line journaling paper, music paper, a beautiful washi sticker, and on this vintage doily tuck spot pocket I have included a piece of French poetry and a beautiful journaling card with some vintage buttons, blingy buttons, and this sweet little trim, ruffled trim with the, in the blush colored lace. I've just added a deconstructed earring dangle with green beads onto the side here. And lots of room for extra writing, of course. Beautiful vintage lace. And a washi sticker. Just so beautiful and translucent. I'm really impressed with these. They're lovely. Some Bible page. A pocket on the right-hand side with some stamping and collaging and a sweet little girl, vintage girl ticket. Another tag that I created and some extra journaling, lined journaling paper tucked into the pocket there. Gorgeous wild rose and some vintage lace, crocheted lace, and then a tall tag that I've used made using some vintage stitching book page, vintage wallpaper, vintage music paper, a die cut of the wildflowers, and some stamping, and then the beautiful chiffon ribbon at the top. And that is the flip through of this sweet little journal that I have called, which one is this again? Summer Rose. This is beautiful Summer Rose. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look inside. Thank you for staying with me through this series and checking to see what she is all about. So this one is Summer Rose. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.